So how's it going, guys? Welcome back today to a brand new video here on Tide55. Personally, this is my first time doing this, and today I'm sitting down with Tommy and we're having a little conversation talking about social media and the importance as a business owner for you to be on there now. We're 6 days into 2021 now, and for us here at Tide55, it's been a pretty manic busy few days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
It's our first full week of the year so far.
Yep.
And we've had a lot of, I guess you could say, success so far.
It's been good.
It's been a very busy few days.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of work on. How are you feeling about that so far?
Very good. I'm optimistic about it because everything's moving at a very fast pace.
It is.
But we're organised, and that's one thing.
Organised chaos.
I'd say it's just like there's four boxes. Four boxes, and anyone that's read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey will know this one. You've got urgent and important. Okay, they're the two factors. Stuff can either be low importance, high urgency.
Yep.
It can be low importance, low urgency. It can be high importance, so it can be high urgency, low importance, or it can be high urgency, high importance. Yeah. I think I've missed one out, but we'll put a thing on the screen. But we're operating at the moment in an important but not urgent way, which is the best way to work. If it becomes urgent and important, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think we've had little moments like that, but
as recently as Sunday night.
Yeah, but they are little moments because everything else is. And the reason why that's important, the reason why I go there with that straight away, is because people need to know how much we've bitten off.
Yeah.
We've bitten off a lot here, not more than we can chew, because that's why we're doing it. But we're not just dipping our toes in. We're jumping in from the cliff side into the ocean, and it's fun and it's a thrill, and it's the water wakes you up when you hit it. Then you go underneath, and then you come back up, and you get to talk about how fun it was. So and do it all over again. That's a weird metaphor, but it kind of explains what's going on in a way.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into this video today talking about, as I said, the importance of social media, why you as a business owner should be on there, whether you're someone who's freelancing, whether you're, own a big company, whatever it may be. We're going to have a conversation about it in today's video. And get involved, subscribe to the channel if you are new, leave a like on this video. And of course, if you are someone who uses social media as a way to make income, then let us know in the comments down below. So first of all, whether you're someone who's been following Tide for a while or you've just come across this video on YouTube, what is it we do? Who am I? Who is Tommy? We're going to just talk about ourselves for just a short moment. Myself, I'm Matt Robinson, and I've been on social media now for, many of years. And in terms of using social media as a form of a way that's made an income, for myself, the best result has been on YouTube, which has mainly been talking about Arsenal and football and things like that. And that's sort of been my first taste of, I don't want to say success through the online money making ways, let's say. But it's definitely been a factor that, I've been able to help other people out in terms of using YouTube and social media in general to help out their business and create more income. Because at the end of the day, that's the reason we're working here. We are here to help you make more, through social media and create that content. But in terms of what I do here at Tide, it's all content creation, video editing, promotional adverts, product adverts, and today as well, some product photos.
Yep.
And it's all kind of, social media has just been a big part of my life and my way of personally making an income now for quite a few years. Mm-hmm. How about yourself?
It's been, I'm lucky because I've seen it happen. Which makes me feel really old, but I've seen it go from wired. Everything was wired. Your Super Nintendo control pad was wired, the phone was wired, the internet was wired, everything was wired, and then it all went wireless, and it all went mobile, and it all just exploded. And as soon as broadband happened, the connectability, the way that we communicate, it completely changed. The way that we enjoy entertainment completely changed, and social media happened. And
it took off so fast as well.
It went from when I was probably 13, 14 on MSN Messenger, which is where you would add your friend's email address to this chat program, MSN Messenger, and you could see when they were online, and you'd be able to send them messages. It went from that to a few things like MySpace and Bebo, and then Facebook. And as soon as Facebook happened, everything changed because it became the central point of communication. It's now responsible for how we share our greatest and happiest moments in life. It's how we find out what's going on in the world, not just in our circles, but in news.
Yeah.
It's how we buy things, and that's soon going to be evolving even more when they bring out their own currency, which is happening this year. So it's all just completely flipped over probably the period of about 12 years.
Yeah.
Me in particular, I owe social media a lot because it's helped me launch and build 3 businesses, and
It's mad.
has been the avenue to grow. Like, it's been what I've used every time.
Yeah.
And now I this business, Tide55, is a digital marketing agency, so we get to do that for other companies.
Yeah,
which is really nice. Yeah.
The journey of it has been crazy,
Yeah.
and I think it all comes down to the rapid growth that there has been. And I think a lot of people as well, you know, maybe my age, you know, I'm only 18, 19 next month. I think a lot of people in this generation, they're aware of how powerful this thing is, but they just view it as this, well, I can't do that. But in reality, you can do that. If, say, someone's got, say, some savings to start up an online shop of some form, whether it be Amazon, Shopify,
You don't know
all of these things,
how lucky you are. Yeah.
it's a massive opportunity. And if you haven't yet jumped on that wave, I sit here right now and I urge you to. You know, if you're working a job right now that you really don't enjoy and you want to get out of that, there's ways out right now. You know, and I think in a few years' time, we've had so many conversations here in the office.
Yeah.
And I've spoken about, you know, saying how this isn't gonna stick around as an easy entrance, let's say, for many of years. In 2 or 3 years' time, you're gonna need a golden ticket to get in. You know, but I think right now, people need to open their eyes in reality and realize how powerful social media is, but also how powerful this is. You know, right now you're watching this and engaging with us through exactly what we're talking about. You know,
And again,
mad.
making parallels, because it's important to make the parallels, because a lot of our viewers, a lot of our clients are going to be business owners that are operating successful businesses that they've worked hard for their whole lives. And now the digital world has just exploded, and it evolved the speed of 10 years within a 3-month period.
It is
in 2020.
crazy. It's mad. The growth is...
It's caught a lot of people by surprise. A lot of the successful business owners are now thinking, actually, I need to take this very seriously because I'm being left behind, or if I don't do something, I am at risk of being left behind in my industry.
Yeah.
So it's important to make parallels, because all social media is where the attention is now for where people spend their free time.
Yeah, that's it.
Entertainment, education, and socializing happens on social media and through social media, right? So previously, before that, you'd have to watch a TV program.
Yeah.
You'd have to tune in at a certain time, look at the TV guide, and then tune into that channel to watch what you want. You'd have to wait for your favourite song to come on randomly on the radio. You couldn't just press the button and have it.
That's it.
And when it comes to communication, try doing a pandemic without a video call. You know,
there you go.
We're lucky.
That's it.
What that means for the business owner and what you're talking about there is that it's just now. It's happening now, and if you come into it now, you'll be able to set your camp up.
Yeah,
and you'll be able to have things as you want them. But the longer you leave it, the more scrappy it's going to get. The more scrambled it's going to be, the more competitive it's going to be, and it's going to cost more for the result that you're trying to achieve. But that doesn't mean to say that you have missed it, because there'll be another evolution. There'll be another change. There'll be new technology. We haven't even got started on 5G yet in terms of what it can do, because we don't yet know what that's going to do for our behaviours.
It is going to be crazy. Like, you know, it's also, you talk about, you know, business owners who have worked their whole lives for these big successful businesses, you know, respect where it's due. Yeah. But as a marketing agency, you also have to sit here and, you know, we're going to give you the respect, but we're also going to give you that little nudge of, like, you have to adapt to change. You have to adapt to where this is going right now, and, you know, what the future is.
You can't underestimate
what the future is saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the solutions that people have or have had previous to 2020 give the youngest person in the office the social media responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, give
Yeah,
it to your niece or your nephew, and you can't underestimate it. You can't disrespect it as a tool.
Yeah.
And just how hooked in we are to this thing. Your customers of today and tomorrow are hooked into it.
It's an addiction.
They're in it.
know?
They're dependent almost on it, and you've got to be present there and be engaging so that you're front of mind. But because of 2020, what probably would have been okay to give the youngest person in the office or your niece or your nephew just to do a few tweets or send a few pictures on Instagram every now and again
Yeah.
is not good enough now. And actually, and we know this from calls we've had with clients, when you do it half-heartedly or where you do it immaturely, it looks worse than if you did nothing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So it's finding that balance, you know?
Yeah.
And that takes me on really nice as well to the next point. And we're going to have a conversation about, okay, we can sit here and we can say to you, oh, there's this social media thing. Yeah, use this will do this for you. But how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the key ingredients to put into social media? For me personally, I'm the massive fan, probably the biggest fan in the office of video.
Yeah.
You know, it's that for me is the title winner.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the most powerful things. And as I said, you know, earlier on in this, people are kind of sleeping on how powerful that is. You know, a video can sell something.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do it right and you have the right people, Tide55 behind that, then it sells. You know, and you will turn this investment, you know, the return on your investment is going to be substantial.
Yes.
You know, to put it straight.
Yes.
So what would you say are the key ingredients? What's your favorite, you know, ingredient of this social media money-making marketing place?
It's difficult to choose between two. Both are important and both have their own subtle nuances which are really special.
Yeah.
So first we have creative. Creative is probably the more obvious. If it looks good and gets the attention of the person that you're looking to get the attention of, then the creative has worked. So whether that's video, an image, the copy, you know, the words that you use, the way that you use the language, these are nuances. It's not as simple. And when you look at some of the stuff and that you make and that we put out there, it's like, oh cool, it's just an image. And like a lot of people, sometimes they think I can do that myself.
Yeah.
But you might be great at running a business, you might be great at being a manager, you might be great at being a manufacturer, an engineer or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not a creative in its essence. It might be that you can be, but it's not your job to do that. Whereas when you have an agency, that creative is then their job.
Yeah.
So to come up with the video, the image, the text, how we would describe it as world-class level, to then be able to engage the attention of the end consumer, that's very, very important. But I think people get that. So the one that's a bit more subtle is positioning. And positioning is being able to take that creative, that video, that image, that advert, that piece of content, and have it in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
Having it there when the person is ready and when the person is in a position where they need it, but they don't know that yet. So it plants the seed, and then they see it again and again. And you know, studies suggest that it takes about 7 or 8 touch points before someone takes any action, because there's so many little decisions that we need to make all the time.
So those small questions you ask in your head is
exactly.
It's like the conversation we had the other day in the office, and we're talking about, you know, that psychological side of it.
Yeah.
You have to tap into the head of your customers through social media. Ask them questions they didn't know they need to ask themselves. Yeah,
you've got to join the conversation that's already going on in their heads.
Yeah, and it's then, you know, if you can tap in a successful way,
that's the thing. You can't. There's no if about it. People shouldn't try and do this on their own.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do your own dental work. You wouldn't try and do your own, like,
if you're the
cut your own hair, like,
yeah.
You get the professional to do it, okay? And that's why it's dangerous when we say things like, when we give advice sometimes, I'm just going to be like brutally honest here. Sometimes when we give advice, it's like, but actually you shouldn't do any of that. You should just let us do it. And it might sound like I'm trying to do a shameless plug, which I am, but I'm also not, because it's so obvious. Like, it's more complex than it seems. creative, positioning, the psychological element of creating a sale from nothing is deep rooted. Whenever we see something on the internet, the first thing our brain does is go, am I in danger? Do I trust that person? Do I trust that thing?
Yeah.
Do I want to sleep with that thing? Because what our brains, do. This is just human nature. So we're running these questions all of the time when we see something, and they're unconscious questions we're asking ourselves. They're not conscious questions. They're just built into our human nature to defend ourselves from danger, keep us alive. That's our primary focus, primary objectives. And then all of the other things that we have, our preferences, what we enjoy, what we don't enjoy, what we like, what we don't like, what we need, what we don't need, what we want, and what we don't want. And so we're joining that conversation. And to avoid that, to beat that little movement there, the scroll, you've got to be able to have the creative, the positioning, and then the psychological understanding to help someone, because that's important, help someone bridge the gap between where they are now and where they would like to be. And whether that's that they want a new pair of shoes, or whether that's that they want to buy a house, there's a gap there. And marketing's job is to help fill that gap and to bring the person to the door to then have a sales conversation.
Yeah, 100%. How important right now, we talk about it as a business owner, how important is it for you to be on social media right now? It's ridiculously important. As you said before, it's a must-have.
Yeah, I think so.
Just tell the people watching right now, how important is that? You're more of the sales speaking type of man, as opposed to me. How can you put that point across?
I think the best way to put that point across is to use an analogy of fishing. Now, you can cast your fishing rod out into an ocean where there are only one or two fish.
Yep.
Okay, and you can sit there as long as you like. And if that is okay for you, to wait that long, to risk those odds, and to possibly go hungry, then that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you turn around, the lake behind you is full of fish. And it's full of all the right fish, the best tasting fish, the ones that you really want to catch.
Yeah.
And they're almost like jumping in the net. Like they're there. All you've got to do is turn around and put your fishing rod out into that lake. And the reason I say that is because I don't want to suggest that social media and put loads of pressure on people to say that it's the only way. It's not. But that lake is full of fish. And it's really quite easy to find the right ones. The other lake is unpredictable, and that's where I would compare traditional marketing. Sure, put an advert in the newspaper if you want, but that's the first lake.
Yeah.
You might get a bite. If you do, you don't know where it came from, you don't know what type of fish it's going to be, and it might be an old soggy boot. Because in the other lake, you can see the fish, you know you're going to catch something, and you can pretty much choose the type of fish that you want to catch as well. And you get that feedback and that data, and you can see what's going on. So I just want to make that clear, because sometimes it can come across like, social media and people don't like it, and there's a bit of fear there sometimes, like, whatever, the ego kicks in. I don't need social media, I'm all right, I've got my business.
Yeah.
That's fine, but the fish are in that lake. And here's the kicker. Sat next to you is your biggest competitor. He's pulling in fish because he's got his fishing rod in that lake.
Yeah, that's it.
So you've got to give it the respect it deserves. And this is very punctual, and it's very serious because of the digital evolution that we've had in 2020. Had we not had that, well, this company wouldn't exist for a start.
Mad.
Had we not had that, there would not be as much emphasis in my tone right now. Because the consumer behavior has dictated the need for this.
Yeah, exactly.
My father-in-law, he bought a plant off the internet. He's never bought anything off the internet, and he bought a plant. And he was cool with that, and he'll probably never go to a garden centre ever again.
There you go. That is the new way. To put it straight, that's the new norm.
It is.
Whether you like it or you don't like it, as you said, there is the fish out there. You can go there and you can catch some pretty big fish. To put it straight.
Whales.
The whales
are in the lake.
Yeah, there is You know, it's like going down to your local pond and there literally being a dolphin or a whale in there. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you want to see more styles of these videos, and if this does half decent or does okay, then we'll consider doing more of these. Drop a comment down below of what you think about what we've spoken about. Check out all of the social medias, and of course, if you are someone who's interested in digital marketing, then contact us.
We can have a conversation with you. The people that you see here, we can have a conversation with you and talk about your business and how this relates to you. Just let us know.